Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all, depending on whichever part of the world you are tuning in from. As always, I'm very excited to welcome you all to another promising edition on the Forex Morning Mastery, our last edition for the week, where we intend to review our performance across the financial assets we have been monitoring since the beginning of the week, and of course use the historical data to strategically position ourselves for the next move, as market participants are expected to start rounding off their trading activities ahead of the weekend. The last 24 hours has been marginally subdued due to the absence of the UK and the US market participants. Remember, I mentioned yesterday that the US was observing their independence holiday, which obviously made the US market to be closed. Hence, we had some extended sideways trading activities, which was as a result of low volatility due to the closure of the US market. And of course, today promises to be an exciting one, as market participants will gradually come back into the market, both from the United Kingdom and the United States, as they all await the US non-farm payroll coming up later today. And of course, this is likely going to bring in some volatility, considering today being the last trading day of the week. The US non-farm payroll, one of the major high impactful event from the United States, which obviously is going to be a key determinant of the US dollar market dynamics today. So it's going to be a very, very interesting session. And of course, in preparation for today, I do have simple trading setup using our basic tools such as the trend lines, key levels, and chart patterns to understand the behavioral patterns of market participants, and of course unravel the potential direction for market today. And today being the last trading day of the week, we are also going to be taking into consideration the rounding off of trading activities, which is usually characterized with profit-taking activity, as market participants who had capitalized on a strong potential impulse leg to the upside or downside, depending on which direction, may want to be closing in some profit on the chart ahead of the weekend, which usually will reflect on the chart as a reversal setup, as price will tend to move in the opposite direction of the prior leading price action. So we are going to be taking this one too into consideration while we review the current market structure. So I encourage us all to exercise patience, stay tuned in, grab your favorite beverages, and do not miss out on the valuable ideas we will be talking about today. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, you're highly welcome on board. Very excited to have you around with us this morning. If you're new with us this morning, please let me know in the comment section. Just type in hi, and please do not forget to give in the our Forex Morning Mastery tag, #Forex Mastery, in the comment section, as this will boost the YouTube algorithm to push this video to a wider audience of traders who may find this content beneficial. So I'm trying to type in my own, so I hope you also do the same as well. Let's help this community to grow. So I just did that right now in the comment section. I also expect you all to do the same. And for those who are joining us for the first time, let me quickly give you a brief insight into what we do here on the Forex Morning Mastery. So here we usually gather here 3 times in a week: Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where we come to review and do follow-up details on the asset we are monitoring for the week. And it is important for you to also note that this is not a signal service platform, but a platform where we all come together to, as students of the market, come together to understand how market participants are behaving on this chosen asset, and of course use that information to strategically position ourselves for the next move. And trust me, the more time you spend with us in this community, the better you get to comprehend my analytical approach, which eventually will help you in making your own independent trading decisions. So once again, I welcome you all on board and encourage you to actively engage in the comment section. And if you have any questions whatsoever as regards to the financial market, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Trust me, I'm here and willing to be of help in that regard. So with that being said, here we will be diving right into the business, and as always, the first thing we normally do every morning is for us to keep tabs with the fundamental factors that are expected to influence the sentiment in the market today. And by monitoring the economic calendar, we tend to pinpoint potential correlations between key economic releases and specific technical patterns on the chart, hereby giving us valuable information and, most importantly, timing to position ourselves in such a way that we can capitalize on any potential move prior, during, and even after this economic event. Now, based on the asset we have been looking at, I've been monitoring since the beginning of the week. We have a bunch of high impactful events from both the United States and the United Kingdom through the course of the week. I think this week is more of the United States economic features, as we had the ISM manufacturing PMI, which gave us an insight into the manufacturing sector of the United States. We also have the Fed chairman's speech during the ECB seminar that was held in Portugal on Tuesday, and of course from that session we were able to get a little bit of insight into what the monetary policy situation is for the United States, where we had the Fed chairman emphasize and acknowledge the fact that there is disinflation in the United States right now, which has incited the idea that interest rate may be cut anytime soon, maybe as early as the month of September, and probably another one in the month of December. And of course, this dovish outlook has sent the US dollar crashing to I think a 3-week low at this point in time. So are we going to see this crash continue to the downside, or are there chances for some deep buying as the week finally comes to an end? Then on Wednesday, July 3rd, we had some labor-oriented data like the ADP employment change, which came in below market expectation, showing us signs that the labor sector is gradually contracting in the United States. We also had the ISM services PMI, which for the first time in about a couple of months came in below market expectation at 48.8, as against the market expectation of 52.5. So from all of this data here, we can see that the United States economy is winding down, showing us signs that the monetary policy, the restrictive monetary policy the United States had adopted, is gradually coming to fruition, and this may be a good signal for the Federal Reserve, and of course another signal to start considering cutting interest rates anytime soon, which is not a very good perspective for the US dollar market dynamic. Then yesterday we also saw we also witnessed the United Kingdom general election, which happened yesterday, and from the reports we are having recently, it appears that the Labour Party is winning with a landslide victory at this point in time, as we had the Prime Minister Sunak congratulating his counterpart earlier this morning, which is a sign that things are looking good, because majority of citizens in the United Kingdom are clamoring for the Labour Party after such a long time in absence. So let's see how the market, especially in the GBPUSD, is going to be reacting to this recent development. Then fast forward to today, we are looking at a couple of more high impactful event coming up later today, and one of which is, most of them, I think a couple of them are labor oriented data. So the first one we are looking at here, coming up in about 3 to 4 hours from now, that is the average hourly earnings. Now, for those of us who are not familiar with this data, well, you see, this data represent the average amount earned per hour by private sector employees in the United States, and it is a crucial labor market indicator, which gives us an insight into how well the labor sector is doing. Now, a higher average hourly earning figure are generally viewed as positive by investors, and they indicate wage growth and potential inflation, and this could lead to boosting the sentiment in the market. And if we look at the previous data here, you will see that the previous month came in at 0.4 and 4.1% respectively. So I'm talking about the month on month and the year on year. And based on what is on ground right now, economists are projecting there will be a contraction in that sector. So we are looking at a 0.3 and 3.9% respectively. So will the data come in as expected, below expectations, or beyond expectations? Well, prior to this event, we will be looking at some interesting setups that will give us an insight into where price is likely going. Then finally, simultaneously as well, we are going to be looking at the non-farm payroll report, which is one of the major highlights for the week. And this is also an economic indicator that measures the number of jobs added or lost in the United States economy. And of course, this data exclude farm sector, the government employees, private household employees, and of course, non-profit organization employees. Now, this event here is a significant one, and it has significant implication for market sentiment, as it provides the market with an insight into the health of the US labor market, hereby influencing expectations for economic growth, inflation, and of course future monetary policy decisions by the Fed. Now, a positive NFP data can boost the confidence in the market and drive risk on sentiment, while negative data can lead to risk aversion and of course downplay the US dollar. Now, looking at the data we have here, the previous month came in at 272,000, while the market economists are expecting a downside of 190,000. So it is expected that we are going to be seeing a decline, a contraction in that sector today. So we look forward to see what the actual data is going to be like. Now, one thing we do understand here as technical trader is that the anticipation of these high impactful events has a way of influencing the sentiment in the market. Now, this usually reflects on the chart as structures and patterns that we can actually use to understand how market participants are anticipating this event. Now, this is what we want to be looking out for today. Let's look out for structures and patterns that we are going to be using to strategically position ourselves for the next move. So with that being said, here we will be diving right into the business, and as always, the first asset we are going to be looking at this morning is going to be the USOILSPOT. And so far this week we've done pretty well on this particular asset. Remember, we have been buying, let me see, I'm not sure why this is not coming out. Okay, so we have been buying this asset since the beginning of the week. Okay, sorry, it's going to take a while again. Remember, I usually say that my USOILSPOT chart usually take a while. Please, guys, let us type in Forex Morning Mastery in the comment section, please. I look forward to your feedbacks in the comment section as regards to this. Okay, so here we go. So we have the USOILSPOT chart, and since the beginning of the week we have been buying this asset. Remember, we've been buying since the breakout of the $81.55 level on Monday, and of course we had about 3 positions as at the beginning of the week, scooping in close to 200 pips in profit on this multiple entries. Now, for the sake of clarity and educational purposes, let's run through what really happened at the beginning of the week and what led to the decisions we made, and then we will go in to see how we will position ourselves for the next move. Now, if we've already done a top-down analysis on the USOILSPOT, so I wouldn't be going into the higher time frame. If you want to have a review of what we did on Monday, please check the link right in the description box below. So right here on Monday we had a range bound structure where price action was consolidating above our key level at the $81 area. So my key level is that pink line you're seeing at the bottom of your screen, and for the fact that price action was trading above our key level, it made a lot of sense for us to look out for patterns and structures that supports the idea of buying this asset. Now, at the beginning of the week, price action was more or less confined within the $81.55 level and the $81 area, giving us a range bound structure. And you know how we use our range bound structures in this community. As long as price remains within that range, we exercise patience and wait for either a breakout of the resistance line to give us an opportunity to buy, or the breakdown of the support line to give us an opportunity to sell. And at no point in time did price even come close to the support line, hereby negating the idea of considering selling this asset. So we bought the first buy position at the breakout of the $81.55 level prior to our first session on Monday, and I did emphasize that for those of us who missed out on this opportunity, that we want to be seeing price come back, retest the structure for us to continue the uptrend move. And look at what happened. Price came back, retested structure, and we continue to add more buy positions, as you will see right here, having about 3 buy positions before that bearish momentum came in, taking us out of those positions. And during our Wednesday's live session, we had a choppy market condition which resulted in a couple of losses on the USOILSPOT. We had a sell position triggered, which did not do very well. And then we had prior to the sell position, we had a buy position, which of course was also taken out in a loss. So we had 2 losses on Wednesday's New York session. And of course, we finally saw price climb back up again. And during my commentary on Thursday, that was yesterday, I told us that we'll continue to look out for buying opportunities, and we did have this ascending trend line as a yardstick to guide the second half of the trading week. So after connecting the series of higher lows since last week Wednesday, we had this beautiful ascending trend line. And of course, you know how we use our ascending trend lines in this community. As long as price action remains above the ascending trend line, we will continue to look out for patterns and structures that supports the idea of buying that asset. Now, with this situation in mind, we were not considering selling at all. Since price still remains above the trend line, it wouldn't make any sense to sell. And the only condition that will make us want to sell the USOILSPOT is for this ascending trend line to be breached and broken to the downside, and this obviously never happened. So the bullish momentum was more or less what we were looking forward to. So we added more positions at the breakout of the $82.75 level right here, and then we added just right here at the $82.75, we added one position here, then another one at the breakout of the $83.10 level. And of course, we're still looking out for more. Should price continue the uptrend move, we are looking at this highest point at the $83.70 area to maximize the potential of this bullish move. But at this point in time, I will encourage us all to move all stop losses. I did mention this in my commentary this morning. Move all your stop losses. Let's secure the current buy position, and the most appropriate area here will be at the second entry zone. Anywhere around that structure seems most appropriate to move all stop losses to, as we do want to be giving enough breathing space for price action to move around. So let's move our positions, move our stop losses, secure this current buy position while we continue to monitor price action. Now, with a well secured position at this juncture, what is going to be our plans for today? What are the chances that buyers will continue the uptrend move? Now, before we can go into the technical details here, we need to also understand the market drivers behind the scenes, which has been influencing the sentiment in this market since the beginning of this week. Now, the market condition is looking very optimistic, and the path of least resistance is looking very bullish due to some various factors behind the scenes, one of which is the concerns about the ongoing supply disruption in the Middle East, which continues to trigger concerns and of course increased demand in this particular area. Now look at the Israeli-Hezbollah situation is ongoing, the Hamas situation is ongoing, and of course we also have the Russian-Ukraine war, where the Russians have been, the Ukrainians have been attacking Russian oil facilities on their soil, and this could also reduce the production of oil in this area. Now, adding to this is the anticipation of increased fuel demand in the United States during this peak summer period. We know there is always this high travel during this summertime, and this could increase fuel demand, and obviously will reflect on the chart as an uptrend situation. And then another factor that is influencing the US oil spot is the recent weakness of the US dollar, which is driven by the expectation that the Federal Reserve is going to be cutting interest rate anytime soon, and this is further favoring the ascent of the oil commodity. However, in as much as the path of least resistance is looking very bullish at this point, it is very important that we also take into consideration the potentials that sellers could come in, which will likely be driven by the ongoing economic challenges faced by China, which warrants a cautious approach in pushing any uptrend scenario here. Now, China, we all know, is considered to be one of the largest importer of crude oil, and if the economy is not doing well, it is expected that demand from this region could reduce and could exert selling pressure on oil prices. So we need to take that into consideration. And if we look at the technical structure here, you will see that since price tested that all-time high for this year at the $83.70 level at the beginning of the week, we have seen a situation where buyers have found it difficult to break through that particular area. And could this be a red flag that sellers may likely come in today, or are we going to be seeing some profit-taking activities that could lead to price action dropping to the downside? So these are things that we need to also take into consideration, but the overall market condition still seems bullish for me, but we will not ignore the potentials of sellers. Now let's look at things from a technical standpoint here, after considering that uptrend, that ascending trend line we identified here. Now we've moved up stop losses to secure the current buy position, and definitely we want to be looking out for more opportunities to buy at the breakout of the $83.70 level. So if price will break out of the $83.70 level, we will continue to add more buy position. However, if buyers find it difficult to continue the momentum and this $83.70 area continue to serve as a barrier for this uptrend scenario, then there is a high chance that sellers could come in, pushing price to the downside. And in fact, for me to sell, I would rather want to see price action break down and retest this ascending trend line for me to start considering selling the US crude oil market. Now, to give a visual representation, I would like to see something like this. breakdown, retest of structure for confirmation to join the decline, and then as soon as price gets into the second ascending trend line, remember this ascending trend line here was the one we identified on the 4 hours time frame. So that's about 80 pips thereabouts. So as soon as price gets into the structure or even close to the structure, we move all stop losses, secure the current sell position, and wait to see how the market will react to that trend line. Will it break down the trend line to continue the downtrend scenario, or are we going to be seeing reversal setups right here to continue the uptrend move? By the time price gets there, of course, I will definitely be giving us updates on both my TradingView and Telegram platform. So that is how we are going to be looking out for both buying and selling opportunities at this juncture. Please remember to move all your stop losses, secure the current buy positions we have right now, while we exercise patience to see how the market is going to be reacting to the zone between the $83.70 and the $83.10 area in the next couple of hours. So this is my simple view here. If you have any questions whatsoever as regards to the current market dynamics, or you need some further clarifications, feel free to let me know in the comment section. So as always, I will be taking the next 10-15 seconds off. Let's see if there are any questions before we move on to the next assets on our watch list. Stay tuned in, guys. Okay, so in the absence of no questions, let's assume that we are all on the same page. So we shall be moving right into the next asset on our watch list. So the next asset we are going to be looking at this morning is the GBPUSD, that is the British pounds against the US dollar. And all of our 4 buy positions since the beginning of the week still remains very active, with over 260 pips move. And in fact, we have a final breakout of the 1.27775 that I updated us this morning, which happens to have been triggered at this point in time. And I think the British pound continues to take advantage of the weakness of the US dollar, which is as a result of the anticipated slowdown in the US economy, and of course the expectation that Federal Reserve may likely cut interest rate anytime soon. So congratulations to everyone who had been part of this profitable journey. Remember, we have been buying the GBPUSD since the breakout of the 1.26550. Remember, we bought it a couple of times at the beginning of the week. We had a couple of losses too on the GBPUSD on Monday after this volatile movement in price action, before we finally saw price continue the uptrend move. And look at the multiple levels we had. We had the 1.26850. We added more at the 1.27100 area. We also added at the 27645, and recently I added the 1.2775 during my commentary this morning on the GBPUSD. So well done everyone who had been part of this profitable journey. So what we are going to be doing right now is to move all stop losses and let's secure the current buy position while we wait and see how the market is going to be reacting to this current market dynamic. So for me, all stop losses will be okay and suitable around the 1.27645, where our third entry is. You know, we do want to be giving enough breathing space for price action to move around, and of course that area also lines up with the ascending trend line that has been supporting this trend during the second half of this week. So anywhere around the this ascending trend line here, or even below it, just to give enough breathing space, seems most appropriate at this particular junction. So let's move all stop losses around this area, secure this current position while we anticipate the US NFP report and the average hourly earnings coming up later today. So depending on what comes out today will determine how we are going to be navigating this current market structure, how we're going to see profit taking activity come in due to a positive US macroeconomic data, which could result into the breakdown of this ascending trend line, inciting a retracement phase to the downside, or will price action just continue the uptrend scenario? So I will be giving us updates, but to sell the GBPUSD, the only condition that will make us sell is for a counter trend opportunity at the breakdown of this ascending trend line and the 1.27645. So let's see what will happen. I will definitely give us updates as at when due on both my TradingView and Telegram platform. So I don't know if you have any questions whatsoever as regards to the current setup. If you do, feel free to let me know in the comment section. So we'll be taking the next 10-15 seconds off. Let's see if there are any questions, while I also encourage you to use that time to mark out those levels accordingly on your chart, as we will be needing them as a reference point to guide our independent trading decisions for today. Okay, so no questions, no observations, so I'll take this as a confirmation that we are good to go. So I do hope you marked out these levels accordingly on your chart. Please do, as they will be guiding our independent trading decisions today. So the final asset we are looking at is my favorite, of course. That is the XAUUSD, popularly known as the gold spot, and the price of gold continues to hold steady at around the 2365 level, and in fact we saw a choppy market, a consolidation phase during yesterday's trading session, and I did explain to us why that is happening. Yesterday was the observation of the US Independence holiday, and of course this resulted in low liquidity in the market, giving us a situation where price action was going through an indecisive phase. Though we had the position triggered yesterday at the breakout of the 2356 level, giving us the making it the third position for the second half of the week, and I did updated us this morning with another level to maximize the uptrend scenario at the $2,365 area. So at this point in time, we should be having a minimum of 3 to 4 positions in profit on the XAUUSD. And for those of us who took advantage of this opportunity, well done and kudos to you. Now, as it is right now, the XAUUSD's path of resistance is looking very bullish following the recent softer US macroeconomic data which has been coming out from the United States in recent times. And of course, this week things were not even looking rosy. We saw the data from the manufacturing sector, the service sector, the employment data, the ADP employment change, which obviously all came in lower than market expectations, and of course the labor oriented data, which is coming up later today, is also expected to show signs of contraction as well, which makes it which makes the XAUUSD potential to be to the upside at this point in time. Now, despite and then other factors here is the weakness in the US dollar. And one thing I would also like to state here is that despite the weaker US dollar at this point in time, the prevailing risk on environment could limit significantly any potential uptrend for safe haven assets such as the gold, as investors at this point prefer for riskier assets, and this may cap the upside trajectory. If you look at the equity market, you'll see that the equity market has been rising significantly in the last 24 hours, and we could see market preferring to put their funds in the equity market, and this could limit the uptrend trajectory for gold prices. So we need to be very, very careful at this juncture. Move all stop losses, secure this current position as everyone look forward to the NFP data coming up later today. Now, guiding our trading decisions for today is this newly identified trend line. So let me show you what I am talking about here. So if we look at what has been going on here since Wednesday's trading session, you can see we have a couple of ascending trend line, and this is definitely going to be playing a significant role in guiding our trading decisions today. So as long as price still remains above this trend line, we will not be considering selling the XAUUSD at all. So we continue to maintain a bullish traction. However, if selling pressure resumes, maybe comes back below the 2,365, we are not still going to be selling, because we could see price come into any of this trend line where the emergence of any form of reversal setup like double bottom structure, head and shoulder pattern could still incite an uptrend scenario. So there is no point to panic if their selling pressure resume around this area, as we will look out for how the market will react to the trend line to decide if we are going to be selling or maintaining this bullish bias. Now, the only condition that will make us sell the XAUUSD is for this ascending trend line to be breached and broken to the downside. So I'll prefer the second one to be broken. A retest of structure on my lower time frame will give me good opportunities to continue the downtrend, where we are looking at this buy window area as a TP target for any sell potential in this market. And this could dovetail to about a minimum of 250 to a maximum of about 350 pips to catch here if price action does that, but I doubt it will happen. But if it does happen, we will be on standby to capitalize on this move. So for those of us who have been part of this profitable journey, well done, kudos to you, and remember to move all stop losses, secure this current buy position at this juncture. So this is my simple view on the XAUUSD, but if there is any new development that comes up in the market today, I will definitely feed us with some updates on both my TradingView and Telegram platform. So this is my simple view here on the XAUUSD. So let's see how the market is going to play out. Then I'm beginning to see something here. Look at this right here. I have this trend line. Let me thicken it a little bit to emphasize it's important. So look at what we have. So if I alight this correctly, you will see that we are looking at an uptrend continuation pattern in the form of a pennant where we already have price action breaking out of the resistant line of that pennant. So we could still see price come back to retest the structure in an attempt to continue the uptrend. So let's keep that in mind while we continue to monitor price action. So this is my simple view here on the XAUUSD, and of course we are going to be running the XAUUSD live monitoring window during the New York session today. So I encourage you to be part of that session as we come here to monitor real-time price action on the XAUUSD. And for the link, you will obviously get the link at the end of the session. So as soon as the session ends, you will see the link. Click on the link, click on the notify me button so you can get notified as soon as we come on live. So I look forward to seeing you guys right during the during the XAUUSD live monitoring window. So I will take the next 10-15 seconds off. Let's see if there are any questions whatsoever before we start rounding off today's Forex Morning Mastery session. So if you have any questions, any clarifications, feel free to let me know. So it seems there are not many of us here today on the Forex Morning Mastery. It's a Friday. We usually see this low turnout on Fridays. I wonder why. I guess maybe most of us usually leave the market on Friday due to the weekend nature of this day. But one thing I'd just like to say here is that Fridays are one of the most important days of the week, as it usually is characterized with high level of volatility due to the rounding off of trading activities for the week. And during this day, we usually see profit-taking activities, as those who had bought a particular commodity through the course of the week may likely want to be closing in their position, especially in an era where there is geopolitical tensions everywhere. Anything could happen during the weekend. So as a result of this, we see market participants closing their position, and this could bring some volatility, which we as technical traders and retail traders could also take advantage of. So I don't know why we have low turnouts on Fridays, but I just want to put this into record that these two Fridays are in fact as very important as Monday's session. So I see you, Live Game Entertainment. Good morning to you. Glad to have you around. I guess you came in a little bit late, but glad to have you around. You'll still have the privilege of seeing the replay of this live session immediately after the end of this video. So I think in the absence of no questions, we have come to the end of today's Forex Morning Mastery, and it has been a great day, great week for us. Although we had a couple of losses on GBPUSD, we had 2 losses on Monday exactly, and on the XAUUSD we also had a couple of losses on Wednesday, but we with the net P and L, we are still on the positive side of our portfolio, and of course that's good news for me. Mode Kings Garage, good morning to you. Glad to have you around. Much love to you too. So it's on this note, I think we have come to the end of the session. There are no questions whatsoever, so let's just take this as a round off. So today we were able to take on all the three financial assets on our watch list. We did the USOILSPOT, which is doing very, very well. We also took on the GBPUSD, which is also doing very, very well, and of course the XAUUSD, which is doing splendidly too as well. And on all of this asset, we were able to identify simple trading setups using our basic tools such as the trend line, key levels, and chart patterns to strategically position ourselves for the next move. And I do hope you marked out these levels accordingly. Please do, very, very important, as you will be needing them to guide your independent trading decisions for today. Live Game is asking, do you have any group where you provide signals? Of course not, I do not have. Instead, I have Telegram platform where I share my updates on where and most suitable it is for us to buy or sell. So I don't give TP target, I don't give you stop losses. So this is subject to your style of trading. So if you are a day trader, obviously your stop loss TP will be different from one who is a swing trader or a positional trader. So what I simply do is give us an insight into what is really going on in the market, give us updates on market drivers that is affecting and influencing the sentiment in the market, so we can have a sense of understanding of how much risk we are going to place on any particular trade we are going to be taking. So I have my Telegram platform. If you don't mind, it's scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now, or you could check the direct link to my Telegram platform right in the description box below. And for those who joined us for the first time today, I do hope you are able to gain one or two things from what we discussed here today. And if you did, you want to be part of our subsequent editions, remember, the more time you spend with us in this community, the better you get to understand my analytical approach, which eventually will help you in making your own independent trading decisions. So it's on this note, I wish you all the best, and of course I look forward to seeing more of you same time on Monday, 9:30 a.m. West African time, 8:30 a.m. UTC, as we come here again to start the week on a new note, and of course try to replicate and even do better than what we did this week. And if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do. I encourage you to do so, as I will be sharing some valuable insights into my plans for next week during the course of the weekend, and you do not want to miss out on this top-down analysis, and of course use it to prepare yourself ahead of next week's Forex Morning Mastery. So I also saw a question here again, how you follow your chart, if you can explain in short please. Oh, we are already run out of time here now. I will encourage you to watch my weekend videos on this asset. In fact, you can check the link right in the description box below. You'll see a well-detailed video showing you how I analyze my asset from the higher time frame down into the lower time frame. Please check out the links in the description box below, and you have an insight into this live game entertainment. All right, on this note, I would like to wish us all the best of luck today. Looking forward to seeing you during the XAUUSD live monitoring window, and of course during the weekend series where I upload videos on my plans for the following week. So on this note, I would like to wish you all the best today, and I wish you a happy weekend. Trade smart, trade consciously, and do have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye.